You guys are both in California, Southern California, where even though you don't live in Orange County, I'm sure you're both very familiar with Katie Porter and what just happened the other day. Should not come as any surprise to anybody. She is somebody who has been on or has heard from past staffers that she is not a nice person, that she is very nasty, to say the least, and she is the front runner, unfortunately, to become the next governor of California. And she is unabashedly, we'll let her share her thoughts. Because
not if we can help it.
Yeah, well, we're going to try. So this is Katie before the incident. Just want people to know this. This is very important.
I'm Congresswoman Katie Porter. Let me be 100% clear. I will continue to stand with Israel in this time of anguish, fear, and danger. I mourn with Israelis as they respond to and recover from this recent terrorist attack, and affirm that Israel absolutely has a right to defend itself. As a global leader, the United States must work with our allies to deliver justice. The terrorists who carried out these attacks should answer for their crimes, as should their backers in Iran. I am concerned by reports this weekend that Iranian officials worked with Hamas on this assault. I will support ongoing investigations to determine how this happened and continue to call out and condemn the Iranian regime. The U.S. must take stronger actions to limit Iran's abilities to fund and support terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah.
So she sucks altogether bad right off the bat without even having to see what type of behavior she's willing to employ. But just the fact that she is such a proud Zionist and such a avid supporter of war with Iran. Pretty disturbing, guys. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Thoughts, Graham?
Well, I mean, that's the insanity of the United States. I mean, it's competing cults. It's like dealing with a nation, and your choices are either alcoholics or meth heads to lead you. I mean, it's so crazy, and it's not surprising that she's also just a bad person. I mean, like American politics is set up to weed out people of like integrity and honor, and it's a corrupt system. You're going into, you're got to pick which mob run, brothel you want to work at. I mean, it's just it's awful, and it encourages and funds and supports the worst type of people, who are just, they only care about power. They only care about money. They don't care about, like she's talking about, we're going to do this investigation. Are we going to investigate, the Hannibal directive and all the stuff that's coming out about October 7th, how Israel was like kind of happy that this was happening. And we want to investigate, Iran, and it just sounds like this old playbook, like they're reading this old Iran, Hezbollah, all these scary words. I mean, if they could weave in Russia and China in there, they would, and it's why there's no leadership in California, living there. It's like in June when there was the ICE protest, the majority of which was very peaceful. I had friends at many of them. Some of them got violent, and who instigated the violence? It's usually the cops and stuff like that. Or just people pretending to be protesters, or I don't know, maybe some people were just mad and started some stuff. But then the whole June was another example, living in California, living in Los Angeles, how there's no leadership in this country. So that happens because the ICE raids are really wrong. And they're also obviously to promote the private prison industry. Of course, there's a dollar motive at the end of the day. And Trump sends in the Marines, which is illegal and against the Constitution. And then the Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom, they're awful leaders as well. Then their response, Karen Bass says, well, I'm going to institute martial law. Basically, she put in a curfew. I was supposed to go to an event. I did go to an event that week with the Producers Guild, and they sent an email out to everybody saying we're going to this event in downtown LA, saying the event's supposed to go from like 6 to 9 or 9:30 or something like that. And they said, well, it's going to end at 8 because of the curfew. And I was like, what? That's our leadership. It's like Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom were effectively arguing, no, we are, jackboot cops are perfectly capable of violating Americans' right to free assembly. We don't need the Marines to come in. It was just like that. I was like, that's my leadership. That's the leadership. And again, I'll go back living in LA to the fires of January, and which was really it's awful. I have so many friends who lost homes. It was brutal. And I've been a Red Cross disaster volunteer for over 20 years. I've responded to dozens and dozens of fires. And the fact that we had one in January because of record drought and 100-mile-an-hour winds. And then again, these fires are happening. Joe Biden is still in office. He shows up, mumbles around. Oh boy, my grandson was born at Cedar Side. I don't know what he's talking about. Karen Bass was in Ghana. She's not around, and she then when she's called to the carpet, she then fires. Several months later, the fire chief, who was a woman, who called her out, she fires her. There's no repercussions for that. Trump showed up after he got the fires were 3 weeks long. He gets sworn in and he shows up and does his dumb Trump thing. I invented water. Fires would never happen with me, or whatever stupid crap he says. And I'm like, these are the leaders we have in this country? These just utterly corrupt, selfish, soulless morons. Like
That
there's
was
no
really good.
Yeah. And I think that there is, and Ron, we definitely want to get your thoughts because, again, we are very much.
Well, I mean, this is an awkward moment for me, actually, because full disclaimer, I did donate a significant portion of my new cryptocurrency to Katie Porter's campaign. Now, I was drunk when I did it, but
you hit the wrong button, is what you did.
I thought I was just buying a protein supplement, but it just went to her campaign, and I was like, "Well, this is weird." But yeah, no,
you gotta call me first, Ron, when you do those things. Just
I know. I was just like, "Is this the right code?" Yeah, of course, none of that happened. But yeah, I'm actually really not excited at all about the governor. I think the clown car is just starting. I mean, they say like Katie Porter's the front runner right now. Who knows if that'll stick? I have a feeling there's gonna be way worse cretins than her, even like on all sides. It's gonna be bad. But it also, listening to that spiel she gave that somebody else wrote for her, and she's saying to try to get votes. It's amazing to me where it's like in other parts of the world, and I'm not saying that, anywhere has, a perfect politics or no problem, but in other parts of the world, there is the proper context where people are just, hey, they're killing children and innocent people, and they're destroying a place. This isn't okay. This is never okay. There's never a situation where this could be okay. In any reasonable thought space, that is the right point of view to have if you're a frickin' human. But here, and only here, well, here in Israel, we're the only places where it's like, oh yeah, no, we need to give these platitudes about standing with Israel, which means nothing. It does mean something. It means I'm okay with the genocide because that's how our war machine works. But it means nothing in the big scheme of things to anything that's significant other than corruption. You have to give that kind of lip service, which is just, it's unbelievable to just watch what passes for thought leadership in this country. And, when you talk about how, yeah, our political system attracts people like this, that's true. And a lot of that's because of money and politics. But our thought leadership is also a huge freaking problem where you just have these people who are unqualified to do freaking anything, leading the race on, what our points of conversation are, what our Overton window is. They say this freaking nonsense about like Tylenol is the cause of transgender people coming in through Mexico or whatever nonsense it is that they're parroting, like just whatever it is that they're parroting. And then you get these idiots on TV in their suits going like, well, they bring up an interesting point. No, they don't. They don't bring up an interesting point. It's just your job is dependent upon making the rest of us still believe that the wrestling match is real. And it's just, I mean,
wrestling's not real.
No, sorry, buddy.
Sorry, bro.
Wrestling is more real than politics.
Yes, well, yes.
No, it's actually physical. Yeah, I mean,
That's
this
what
is
I mean.
no,
It's
no
real.
disrespect to professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, and I honestly think that the NFL at this point is somewhere in between professional wrestling and an actual sporting competition.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so
Well, I do think it's going to get very interesting, and we're definitely going to. Before you guys go, we're definitely going to want to talk quickly about what happened in Saudi Arabia. But I do want to play this clip because I do think, number one, I do think that even though he is running in the Green Party, I do think that Butch Ware is a very solid candidate, and I think if he gets a decent infrastructure built behind him, he might actually be able to cause a stir. And the reason I think he's going to be able to cause a stir is because actions like this are actually how a front runner gets derailed from running for office. And I do believe that Katie's actions, particularly in this instance, is going to derail her campaign.
Say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump.
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. So you don't
I
think
feel
you
like
need
this
to
is
vote.
unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Thank you.
wow,
You're not going to do the interview with us.
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Because she didn't answer it.
Oh,
that's some great press relations there. That's
Oh yeah.
wow.
I'm not going to play the other one because I think it's pretty self-explanatory what a raging. Well, Jen, you can say it. I'm not going to say it. There is another clip recently of her prepping for a speech, and her. I guess it was probably
What
her.
did she get so angry about? Like, what? I mean, it seemed like the question was just, how are you going to appeal to voters from a different political party, which is a question that everyone gets asked in the history of ever. Like, if you don't have an answer for that, what are you doing?
Well, she has a Klobuchar-like reputation that she is extremely nasty to her staff. Like this is like,
what's her Spanish name, though? Do you know?
It's
I don't know. Well, how do you say Spanish for Karen? She's clearly just a Karen. Like, she just can't handle. Look, she's even got the Karen haircut. She can't handle anybody questioning her on any level. Like you said, Rod, it's the most standard milquetoast question. How are you going to appeal to people from the other side of the party? You know what? I just can't. You can't. You're like, she's going to go complain to the manager that something was wrong. Like, it's and again, the thing that's so funny, the interviewer is a woman, which she's probably bummed because she was hoping it would be a man so that she could at least, she can't even claim sexism. Oh, he was asking me sexist questions because the patriarchy doesn't want. No, you're a horrible person. Here's equality. You're awful. You're awful. You're awful to women. You're awful to men. You're horrible. And but you know,
but she's got a whiteboard, Graham. She's got a whiteboard, and she likes to write shit on it, and she gets brownie points with the shit lips. I mean, that's got to count for something, right?
The liberals will vote for her. I mean, I try not to be cynical, but America is competing cults, and the MAGA people are obviously, they're like cultish. But even some of them are calling out Trump for his lack of pursuing Epstein, his getting money from Israel. But the liberals, I don't know. I don't know that the liberals living in LA, they're so.
No, the liberals in LA that live in places like the Hollywood Hills, like in Bel Air and Beverly Hills, they're going to see her acting like this and like, she's just like me.
Yeah. Woo! I was just complaining about my latte, my $19 latte yesterday morning in the same capacity. She's one of us, you know.
I too complain about totally appropriate questions for the context.
Could not agree more. I do think in a lot of ways this is going to be, again, there is a clip. I didn't want to play it because it gets to me when I see people who are workers get chewed out for no particular reason. There's a clip of her, you guys, I'm sure if plenty in the chat have probably already seen it. There's one that she just did recently that was not supposed to be filmed, but was of her saying to her comms director, "You're in my fucking shot." And it's just so clear that she's just a really nasty person. And believe it or not, especially in liberal politics, that type of stuff matters to them. even the stuffy bastards that live up in the hills, they don't like that stuff. They don't like people being that level of condescending. So they'll find another person that isn't so bad. But I think that kind of opens up a lane potentially for somebody like Butch Ware to continue to gain, because again, right now we're looking at a revolutionary circumstance that we're trying to push forward.